Hello and welcome to another edition of 21 Minutes with KKB. My name is Kwabna Chenche. Today my guest is a gentleman you all know. He's at one point in time he was described as one of the most powerful men in the country. He's still a very influential politician right here in Ghana at the time. A lot of people were saying that he was even more powerful than the vice president of the time. Well, I'll return in a bit to introduce my guest for today. Stay with us. Many thanks for staying with us. My guest for today is none other than the Deputy General Secretary of the Opposition National Democratic Congress, Koku Anyidoho. Koku, good morning, and thanks for having us. You have a nice place here, very, very nice place.
Well, thanks be to God. But I don't think that it's proper for you to say that I was more important than the vice president.
No,
absolutely ridiculous.
No, but you see, I'm telling you what people used to say. And
of course, but I'm saying it's ridiculous. I don't know where they got all that.
So you're no more powerful than the vice president at the time?
How could I possibly be powerful than the vice president of the Republic of Ghana?
But you were the director of communications.
It doesn't, look.
If you say heads must rule, heads will roll. And you did say heads must roll. And, you know.
Heads must rule was in perspective.
Okay.
It had to do with that Kumasi Sports Stadium lights out. And I actually said that we will investigate. And if people were found culpable, heads will roll. I didn't make any emphatic statement saying that heads had rolled and so specific people were going to lose their jobs. I said we'll investigate. And indeed, a committee was set up to investigate. As to what happened after the investigation and the committee's report, I'm not too sure, but I never sacked anybody on the airwaves. I said we'll investigate. And if people were found culpable, heads will roll. That was what I said. So that's how come, to date, people will say I said heads must roll, but nobody is able to play the voice. Because if you play back the voice, you realize that what the people are saying is not what I said. That's why nobody has replayed my voice on the matter. They only say, it's part of political propaganda. I can grant the NPP at the time, they were in opposition. They would want to make a meal out of nothing. And but I guess it comes with the job. It comes with the terrain. And some of it,
has that,
oh, I'm telling you, you got to take it. I mean, it wasn't easy. Speaking for the President of the Republic of Ghana, being his right-hand man, his confidant, you can expect that out of sheer jealousy, out of fear, sheer envy, people will just want to frame up things. But hey, I enjoyed every moment.
You had people even within who were envious of you?
Certainly. It comes with the job. I mean, Jesus Christ had only 12 disciples. There was one within. So how much more? You know, it comes with the terrain. You'll get people from within. Of course, the most vicious hackers are always from within. I mean, the external ones, they can only throw stones from afar. But it's from internal that it happens. And hey, but President Mills is gone. May he so rest in peace. And I enjoyed every moment of my association with President Mills.
You say you are the one person who had his ear.
I don't think I was the only person who had his ear.
You are the one person
look,
whom he would consult if he used to do anything, if he used to take any critical decision.
No.
And I wouldn't even consult his vice president.
No, it's impossible. I was his speech writer. I wrote his speeches in opposition and in government. And to be a speechwriter of a president, certainly there must be a very close relationship.
You need to think
At least that's what I believe in. Because to put words in the mouth of a president of the republic, he must trust you. That you give him something that he will say that will touch hearts, heal wounds, touch minds, give hope. And so I also had to get into President Mills.
But the information is that
he had his Council of State.
You barred a lot of people from getting access to him, including the vice president at the time. That's John Mahama.
Falsehood is rumor. I mean, if anybody who knows how the castle is configured, the president is on the top floor, on the same floor as his vice president. There's a dedicated corridor between the president and the vice president. They are the only ones who use it. Nobody else is allowed to use that corridor. So the vice president will walk directly to the president's office. My office was beneath that level. Even me, when I'm going to the president, I have to go through his ADC. I didn't have unfettered access to the president. So I am beneath them. They are on that floor. How come I was able to stop the vice president from seeing his president?
That's the question a lot of people are asking.
It was just rumor. It was just falsehood. But you see, at that time, President Mills would tell me, Koku, stay focused. Stay focused. I am the president. I'm the one you're working for. For as long as I'm happy with what you are doing, stay focused. Don't allow people to derail you and off-track you. So I heard all kinds of things. Some was it that I used to hold the shirt of the vice president to his neck.
You never did that?
Is it possible?
I don't know. You
At
tell me.
no point in time did the vice president walk around without bodyguards and security. And their first mandate is to protect him. So how dare me attempt to hold the neck of the vice president and I will not be beaten?
You were an embodiment of the president at
no,
the time.
Please,
and they say you were very powerful.
President Mills was a disciplinarian.
Did he ever discipline you?
Certainly, several moments, several
for
times. Oh, I mean, I will do something that, a typical one was when, a typical example, this was even actually before he became president. This was during the campaign before 2008 elections. He gave me strict instructions that he didn't want his son, Kofi, to become an issue for discussion in the media. And Kofi had then come down from the UK to participate in the campaign to support his dad. Specifically when Ejumako Enyanesian constituency. But I, as a communications expert and a politician, thought that Kofi's coming down should be made public. Because the MPP and the opposition at the time were passing all kinds of vile comments about the then candidate. He didn't have a son, he was this, he was that, all the things they said. I will not repeat them because they are too heavy for my mouth. And so I thought that it was a fine opportunity to let the whole world know that the man had a son and that he was a father. You understand? So
you went against his wishes?
Let's say so. I defied orders. And I put it in my paper, the Ghanaian Lens at the time. He was mad. Oh yes, he actually said he was going to cut me off from the team in his moment of anger. It took a while, maybe days, for him to understand that I meant well. I meant no harm. And to be frank, putting out that picture stopped the nonsense that was coming from the opposition and the opposition press. And so we had a beautiful relationship, but he didn't allow me to run roughshod over people.
Did he discipline you for the head marshal comment?
No, because that's not what I said. So he got to know what I said.
So you explained to him that that's not what
he listened. So he knew that that's what, I didn't say what they said I had said. No, that's what I'm saying.
But there were elements in your party, even at the presidency at the time, who were the ones pushing this, that you were actually saying this.
Certainly.
You had to go.
Oh yes, it's true. It's true. Yes. But that's how the president operates. So he listened and he got the full facts and realized that this whole attempt to cut off Koku's head was just orchestrated.
What was your relationship with then Vice President John Mahama?
Smooth.
How smooth?
Very smooth. He was the Vice President of the Republic. We had to give him all the respect that he was accorded him. There was a typical issue had to do with Kwesi Nyantakyi and GFA. And some of us, sports enthusiasts, I mean like myself, Nilante Van Der Poel, Kojo Bonsu at the time, Kojo Chumuwafu and Co., we thought that Nyantakyi was doing something wrong. And so, having come into power, we needed to go into the FA as a government. But I think somehow Kwesi Nyantakyi found his way to the Vice President, John Mahama, His Excellency, and then somehow the Vice President had a chat with the President. And so the President asked us, look, let's slow down on Nyantakyi. So the President listened to
So you wanted him out?
It's not a matter of wanting him out.
He had to go?
It's not a matter of wanting him to go. But we thought that we had to look into GFA matters.
This
business where government is sponsoring football, yet they say they are autonomous and nobody can look into their matters. For me, it's a bit queasy. So
I presume your desire for GFA to be interrogated or investigated was born out of maybe some suspicion of some corrupt practices?
You heard about coefficient, didn't you?
Yes, we did.
You heard about coefficient. Well, coefficient means what? Where coefficient means what? Come and render account, you say coefficient. Where coefficient means what?
You think there's corruption at the GFA?
Well, that's what you are saying.
I'm asking.
I think that the coefficients must be looked into. The coefficients must be looked into. Because it's taxpayers' money, That is the issue. And so for us, having come into government in 2009, we thought that the issue of accountability should be prime in terms of football management.
Maybe it's just that you do not understand what they mean by coefficient and how
so they should explain it to us, that's it.
Have you availed yourself?
Master. Anyway, so those are some of the issues I'm talking about. So I'm saying that nobody disrespected the vice president at the time. He had his own...
He had his own influence.
Yes, he had his own influence.
But a lot of people are saying you were fantastic at your job and you did everything humanly possible to protect the president. You were a good speechwriter and the like, and you had virtually all the attributes needed of a great director of communications. I'm going to ask this question. How do you think the current director of communications at the presidency is doing, Eugene Ahin? How do you think he's faring? I
feel sorry for the young man. It's a tough terrain. It's a tough job. It's not easy. Mm-hmm. In the case of Eugene, he doesn't even speak on air.
He speaks, but not very
well,
often.
Exactly, sparingly.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but for those of us who used to do it on a daily basis, you have to watch every word that came out of your mouth.
But why do you feel sorry for him?
I feel sorry for him because he's in a rat hole. First of all, he doesn't have the clout. He doesn't have... I don't believe he does anything. He's just a front for his boss, Gabi Ochidakweko. He's a tool. They're just using him. So, and then he keeps putting out releases, grammatical errors, and all kinds of things. Every release that comes out has to go back and be represented. And
but that cannot entirely be accurate. I mean, of course, initially there were a couple of challenges, but to the best of my knowledge, that has been rectified.
Well, he's learning. I hope he learns fast.
And you think that's a place to be learning?
Well, the president has chosen to take him as his director of communications, and like I'm saying, he hasn't impressed me. Between he and as for the information minister, he is even worse, Mustafa Hamid.
Mustafa Hamid?
Oh, come on.
Why, you think he doesn't know what he's about?
I mean, either he's deliberately misconducting himself to make the president and the government look bad, or he just doesn't know what he's about. The kinds of things that he comes out with, especially, for example, this recent eviction of the people within the
squatters around the president's residence.
You call them squatters. I say the people.
Okay.
I'm a social democrat.
Yeah.
So we choose our words very well.
True.
You can call them squatters. I call them people.
But that's according to the information we have from the president.
Well,
that they are squatters.
Well, he's sacking them now. And then Mustafa Hamid comes out to say, well, it is the people themselves who went to see the president and said that, President, we beg you, sack us. It's ridiculous. I mean, it's ridiculous. Mustafa Hamid. Please. Then he says the president is paying from his own pocket. So the president gives money to national security to go and disburse. Okay, so where's the president getting the money from?
But he's paid. He's on salary. He gets allowances.
He gets allowances. Oh, I see. Wonderful. I hope Martin Amidu will investigate that matter.
Under John Mahama, there were some instances of miscommunication.
I agree.
A number of times.
I agree, but I wasn't director of communication at the time, so I can't speak to that issue. I'm talking about my time.
So what do you think happened at the time?
I cannot conjecture.
They were as incompetent or inefficient
I cannot conjecture. I cannot conjecture on that one.
Mm. And I read somewhere that you actually said because of some of these lapses in communication in the NDC at the time, that's one of the main reasons why you even decided to run for the position of Deputy General Secretary, so that you can help in your own small way to protect and push then President John Dramani Mahama.
Certainly.
And also to ensure that the communication lapses
Certainly.
are fixed.
I mean, look, people don't know that I always, I remember I used to tell President Mills that, say, after your 8 years, when you are leaving office, I'll live with you. We'll set up your foundation, and just like Frank Ejekum is doing for President Kufuor, I will do for you till death do us part. Then you say, Koku, why? Why do you keep saying that you will get out of politics when I'm getting out of politics? I said, we have to move on and do things. So for me, when he passed on, sadly so, I knew it from the word go that there was a change of the order or the change of the guard. I was not born to become director of communications for life at the presidency. So psychologically and mentally, I knew that things will change. And so I'm not bothered about the fact that things changed and I was no more director of it didn't bother me one bit. My duty was to serve the government and the party. You can either serve from the front, from the side, or from behind. With President Mills, I served from the front. So it didn't bother me at all now to go to the party and still serve and support the government.
With Mahama, you served from where?
Oh, I served frontally from the party, but governmentally from behind, because I was not part in the forefront of government.
Didn't play much of a role in John Mahama's government?
No, not much.
He didn't see you as a good fit for his team?
Go ahead, you can ask him that question, but I'm saying that...
Do you think you would have been a good fit in his team?
I'm saying that I was part of the party.
I'm asking whether you think you would have been a good fit in his team.
I'm not about to self-eulogize, but all I'm saying is that from the party's perspective, we served, we supported the government. Why? Comfortable lead. Who was I working for? Was it not John Mahama? Whose name did I mention in that press conference?
John Mahama is in a comfortable lead. Some say you just did that so people could mock him.
I ain't gonna get it right, is it? No matter what I do, I won't get it right. Is that not it? So
no, you see,
because there's a certain entrenched mindset,
but why
and a certain entrenched position.
But why do you think that exists? It didn't just come up, did it?
Well, it was orchestrated.
By whom?
By those who decided to do it.
And for what?
Well, you have to ask them.
What's your assessment of the NPP government in this
Total
past?
failure. Total failure. Total, complete failure. What is working in this country? No jobs.
There's no doom so, at least.
Oh, no doom so. What?
If for nothing
go
at all.
Ask Jakun, the energy minister, whether he has invested 1 peso in the energy sector. These are all things that John Mahama's government put in place.
The ordinary Ghanaian just wants to know that when I get home, I have light.
Fine,
I have water,
but we are saying that the Mahama...
that's something you didn't... That's something
what are you talking about?
You didn't give them.
The Mahama administration put in... These are married things that they are making noise about. Why? The Atuabu gas. Who put it in place? So we invested substantially in the energy sector before leaving.
In bloated contracts, they say.
Well, that is up to you. That's up to the court to decide. All I know is that we invested heavily. I know nothing about bloated contracts. We invested heavily. And so we are benefiting from the investments that we did at the time under President Mills and President Mahama.
You think the MPP has not done anything in the past, what, one year?
What have they done?
There's
110 ministers.
There's free SHS.
Free SHS.
The interest rates are coming down. Quite a number of things seem to be working, it appears.
Free SHS. Where is the infrastructure? It is us who invested heavily in the infrastructure.
Government is a continuum. You do not expect one government to do everything.
Go and check the secondary school. Parents are paying fees quietly. They are paying quietly because inadequate books.
But if you're not supposed to pay and you're paying, why do you keep quiet? You need to come out.
Well, if you're a parent and your ward is suffering, will you allow your ward to suffer? You pay. Parents are providing water. Parents are providing food.
Under this free SHS
I'm telling
system.
you, textbooks. You go and check the level of corruption that is going on in this country. So investors are not coming.
So you're talking about corruption. They've set up a special prosecutor's office to help.
So they should go and investigate Osea Mayor. In one day, you issue 11 contracts to your sister-in-law. He should have been sacked by now.
Kofi Asamiao?
Of course.
As the NLA.
Yes. 11 contracts in one day.
He has come out to say that he did nothing wrong. Why don't you allow...
Conflict of interest. Conflict of interest.
Allow due process to take charge.
Oh, suddenly due process must take charge, but under John Mahama, due process shouldn't take place. Under President Mills, due process shouldn't take place. But Nakufo-Addo, due process should take place. The double speak from you people living in the media is what is going to run this country aground. Because suddenly if it's MPP, suddenly today some pastors say that now they watch animals. It's animals that they watch. They're prepared to watch antelope and giraffe because when he's watching antelope, he will learn how to... Yes, you will watch animals, you will watch more animals. If NDC is in power, that one you listen to human beings to prepare your sermon. But when MPP is in power and they are doing horrible things, because you cannot preach those sermons, you are watching animals. You should watch more. If I should go and live in the zoo, he should actually go and be preaching his sermons in the zoo to animals. Hypocrites and parasites.
The U.S. ambassador sees...
the U.S. ambassador says one dam, one factory will not work.
No, but he sees the trajectory with this particular
He says one dam, one factory will not work.
As a sure way...
He is seeing the trajectory of the introduction of homosexuality. That's what he's seeing.
He says... Nana Akufo-Addo is a more visionary president than a...
But even the Nebuchadnezzar had a vision. Even the Nebuchadnezzar had a vision. He was the Nebuchadnezzar before he became an animal and went into the bush. He had a vision. It was his vision that made him turn him to an animal. Armed robbers have vision. Prostitutes have vision. So if Akufo-Addo has a vision, so what?
It's a good vision for Ghana.
What good vision?
It's a Ghana beyond aid.
Which beyond aid? Beyond which aid? When the finance minister is about to float another bond and borrow. When he's issuing bonds in the middle of the night, is that the visionary leadership? When the president appoints 110 ministers, when he's engaged in cronyism, nepotism, surrounded himself with his family, friends, cronies, and concubines, is that visionary leadership? If within the NPP itself, high-ups are complaining about corruption that is taking place in their own government, who am I to deny?
If you're talking about Obribwan's case, he's come out to say he only wanted to solicit information. That's how come he...
My brother,
he came
if you are found in the room of a prostitute having sex, naked, enjoying yourself, they come and catch you. You now say they should give you a Bible and that you went there to go and preach the word of God.
But that's possible.
Obribwan has been caught pants down. And he's now saying that he was looking for information. What information was he looking for? That he had to tell such lies.
You need to bait the person to get some more information.
What bait?
Maybe that was the bait.
Look, the man says that John Boydu is very wicked. They brought 50 billion cedis. John Boydu gave him only 5,000. And that they have been issuing out contracts at the party headquarters. John Boydu has never called him to bring a letterhead and come and take any contract. He calls DCs and MCs and ministers, they don't mind him. Master, the man was serious. So he only now has to come and withdraw because he's found himself in hot waters, but he was serious. Some
former appointees of John Mahama, we are told, should be getting ready to face trial. Well, already the AG says the dockets of some of them have already been sent. So we have, for instance, the former chief executive of Koku Anyidoho and one Seidu Agongo standing trial, well, getting ready to stand trial for on 27 counts of whatever. Your take on that? Seeing that you've suggested that you also be prosecuting them should you come back to power. What's your take on this?
Take on what?
John Mahama was very emphatic, saying that such people who will be standing such trial need all the support they can get from party members. Are you willing to support Opuni, for instance, as he heads for trial?
What did you say?
Are you willing and ready to support people like Opuni and several others who may be standing trial for misconduct while in office?
You are saying misconduct.
Alleged misconduct.
Thank you. These are just allegations. And we have a justice system that operates, and we believe operates fairly. So the courts will talk. We'll support with lawyers. We'll support with technical assistance, whatever can be done. And we believe that justice will prevail at the end of the day.
Some say you've done great work for the NDC as Deputy General Secretary. You've actually, well, you've tackled a lot of things the MPP has put out there as Deputy General Secretary. Now your party should be going to Congress anytime soon. Are you standing for the same position or going for a different one?
Well, interesting question. Interesting question, yes. Hopefully, per the party's timetable, sometime September, I think, we should be running the national elections. In fact, we will start with the branch, hopefully at the end of this month or early April. Then we'll do constituency, we'll do region, and then we shall move to the national level. I think I have made some form of open statement already. You know, that God willing and ceteris paribus.
All things being equal.
All things being equal. I'll contest for General Secretary. That's as much as I can say. No more, no less.
You're sure you can win? But that's a position being occupied by Johnson Esiedu Nketia.
That's why I'm saying I'm not saying more than what I have said. I'm saying God willing and all things being equal. I shall contest, yes.
General Secretary?
I've said it, yes.
What would you do to transform the NDC
I'm not going into those details.
No, I'm just saying.
No, I'm not. The time will come.
What's your vision as General Secretary?
Party first.
Party first.
Party first.
You think that has not been the vision of the current General Secretary?
I said that is my vision. Party first. That's all.
But that's something. So you want to do something different to help your party come to power. And I'm saying.
I said party first. That's all.
Koku Anyidoho has been our guest today on 21 Minutes with KKB. He has actually said quite a number of things, and he's saying that he will be contesting for the position of General Secretary of the National Democratic Congress. And well, his mantra is what? Party first. He's hoping that he can...
It's not a mantra. That is my message.
That's your message?
Yeah, it's not
Party
a mantra.
first.
Party first.
I see.
Yep.
He's hopeful that he can bring the party back to power, and he says that when they do come back to power...
It's not about me bringing the party back to power. I'm only one person, I have only one vote.
But it's a collective effort.
Thank you. The party will come back to power.
In 2020 or 2021, you say?
7th January 2021, God willing, we should be swearing in an NDC-led government.
A Mahama-led government?
An NDC-led government.
A Mahama-led government?
An NDC-led government. An NDC-led government. Thank you.
That has been another edition of 21 Minutes with KKB. My name is Koku Anyidoho. I'll see you soon, hopefully, with another guest you are expecting.